All right, let's start getting into some more event data, and we're going to be looking at pass maps in this section. And a pass map essentially is just allowing us to see the passes that were made by a player or a team, whether that's in a match, a season, a single sequence of events, right? So pass maps are really good for a couple of things. The first one, they're really good for locating and clustering passes, and really good for seeing, okay, where passes usually starting and ending for a certain player. It's really good for seeing length of passes or progression of passes, and as well finding trends in a player's type of passes, such as a forward pass, a back pass, a side pass, right? A pass map is really not effective if we just plot every single pass on that a player has ever made, whether that's in a sequence of matches or a season, and we just say, wow, look at how good this player is, right? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to create that value by creating a pass map from all of Enzo Fernandez's passes that entered the final third in the World Cup final. So to do this, we're going to be using the StatsBomb API to essentially just grab the World Cup event data, and we are basically going to extract that data, and then we'll plot it, and then we'll only plot the ones that eventually end up in the final third, okay? So to get this exact data, we'll just import pandas as PD. And then as well, we'll say from statsbomb.py import SB. And then we'll say df equals sb.events. And then the match ID from the StatsBomb API is, so we say match ID equals, it's 3869685. I just have that in my notes over here. So run that, and that extracts the data. Now let's kind of see how. So now let's find Enzo Fernandez in our actual data frame. So if we say print df.player.value underscore counts, like that, with parentheses, and then close it off with another parenthesis. This is basically going to tell us how many rows have that specific player. So let's run that. And as we can see, Enzo has 328 rows of data where he is the player of that row. So that could be either a pass, it could be a tackle, it could be a yellow card, right? Like down here, Messi is third, DePaul is second, Otamendi, Koundé, Chouameni, right? I actually don't know how you say Chouameni properly. That's just how I kind of say it, but. So now let's just go and filter only down to Enzo Fernandez's passes. So to do this, we'll just say df equals df, and then we're just going to use our filtering technique to only filter to him, and as well where the type of event is a pass. So we'll say df, and then parenthesis df bracket player. So the player column is equal to his name, so Enzo Fernandez, like that. You could copy it as well from up here if you wanted. Close that with a parenthesis, and then do an ampersand, and then we're going to create our other filtering condition. So we'll say df type is equal to pass, like that. So this is essentially going to filter it down to all of Enzo Fernandez's passes that he made. So close that with a list right there, or with a bracket, sorry. So run that, and it's going to tell you that you get a key error player because player is not capitalized, it is lowercase. My bad. So say df player is equal to Enzo Fernandez, type is pass. So let's look at kind of the first 15 rows right here. So we say df.head. And then, as you can see, there's 92 columns. It's kind of hard to read. So let's kind of clean this up a little bit into only the columns that we need. So since we know this data frame is only Enzo Fernandez, we can basically just clean this up into 3 columns. We'll say df equals df, and then we're going to filter to the columns we want. So we're going to want to use the location column, and then as well the pass end location column, and then the pass outcome column, like that. So run that, And so now if we look at our data frame, so just do df.head again, that is now the data that we're working with. So we're basically have the location in a list of x and y values, the end location with x and y values, and then the outcome. And the way that StatsBomb works is if this value is null, that means it was successful. If it is not null, it will tell you what the outcome was. If it wasn't successful, it'll say incomplete, it'll say out of bounds, it'll say whatever it is, right? So let's go ahead and we'll clean up these columns and we'll create new columns that we can work with in our graph. So to do this, let's first create our x and y columns. So if we just say df and then 2 brackets and then x and y like that with 2 more brackets. So we're creating our x and our y, and then equals df location dot apply pd dot series like that. So that is how we can split this column right here and turn it into 2 separate columns. So if we run that, it says PD is not defined because I accidentally just said import pandas instead of import pandas as PD. You'll probably have to rerun everything like this. And okay. So now that created that x and y columns. Let's do the same thing for the end x and the end y. So we'll say df and then end underscore x like that, and end underscore y with our 2 brackets equals df, and then on this one we want to do on the pass end location. We'll say pass underscore end underscore location dot apply pd dot series. And then the last thing we want to do is we just want to fill all of these NaNs with the word complete. So what we'll do is we'll just fill NA with the word complete. We'll say df pass underscore outcome equals df pass underscore outcome dot fill NA, and then we'll just say the word we want to fill it with. So we'll say complete like that, okay? So run that, and then let's look at our data frame again. So we say df.head. So this is what our data frame is going to start looking like. We'll have our location, pass end location, which we won't actually use anymore. We'll use the x value, the y value, the end x value, and the end y value. So now that we have all this kind of split out and we are planning on only showing the passes that entered the final third, we now need to create a column which is going to tell us which passes entered the final third of the field. So the way we calculate this is StatsBomb data is set up on a grid of 120 by 80. So we're basically going to say anything that ended up greater than or equal to 80 but started at less than 80 basically means that it entered into the final third from the non-final third sections of the field. So thankfully we can actually do this very easily, and we'll just do it with some math, and we're just going to create a Boolean column, so it'll just be true or false if that pass meets that criteria. So we'll say df and then entered underscore final underscore third like that. So we're creating a new column equals, and then in parentheses just say df bracket end underscore x is greater than or equal to 80. So that means that it ended in the final third, and then close that off with a parenthesis and then use an ampersand and say df bracket x is less than 80 like that. So basically what we're saying, and like we kind of talked about, is that we are only looking at passes that ended in a value greater than 80 but started with a value less than 80, okay? Because that split into thirds is the 80th is the 2/3 mark. So let's run that now. We can actually see the grouping of trues and false if we just do a value counts like we did before. So we'll say df.entered underscore final underscore third dot value underscore counts like that. So as you can see, there were 83 passes that did not end up in the final third, while 11 of them did end up in the final third. And that is only counting passes that entered the final third, rather than if I made a pass in the final third and I was already in the final third, we're not going to count that. So now what we want to do is we just want to filter our data frame down to only those rows that are true, okay? So we'll just filter it. We'll say df equals df bracket, and we'll say df bracket entered underscore final underscore third is equal to true, like that. So that's going to filter it down to just these 11 rows right here. So run that, and then let's go ahead and let's start actually plotting this, and we can kind of start to get some really good value and insight from this. So this is where we're going to be using MPL Soccer to create our pitch and also do our plotting of the passes. So we'll say from MPL Soccer, import pitch like this, like we did in the previous video. And then as well, we're going to say pitch equals pitch like that. And then we're going to do pitch underscore type equals stats bomb like that. So we're going to create a stats bomb pitch. So if we run that, it's going to import. It's not going to do anything because we actually need to plot it. So do fig comma ax equals pitch dot draw. And if we run that, we get our empty pitch right here. So to plot this, all we're going to do is we are going to loop over every row of this data frame, and we are just going to plot, okay, here's the x, here's the y, here's the end x, here's the end y, plot a line between those 2 points. Okay, and then we'll just add a little bit of coloring if it was a successful pass or if it was a failed pass. So to do this, we're just going to say for x in df.to underscore dict and then orient equals records. So what this is doing is we're basically going to say for x for every row in our data frame, but we're actually turning our data frame into a dictionary where each row is going to be its own dictionary. It's going to basically be a list of dictionaries. And the reason we do this is because sometimes it's actually easier to just work with the dictionary values than it is to, and it's less code than it is to write and extract out of a data frame, and it's usually a little bit faster to loop over a dictionary than it is to loop over a data frame when we have a lot of rows that we're working with. We only have 11 rows in this point, so it's a little negligible, but for, practice and for learning of this data frame method, it's just nice to know that we can do that. So go ahead and hit enter, and then we're just going to write a simple if statement. So we're going to say if the outcome was complete, we are going to color it green, otherwise color it red. So we'll say if x bracket pass underscore outcome. So if the pass outcome key is equal to complete, so we're using our if statement to basically check if the value is complete. So we'll say pitch dot lines, and then we just need to give our x and y values and then our end x and our end y values. So just do x bracket x like that. So that's our x value. And then parenthesis, and then x bracket y, so our y value with a bracket. And then we need to do our end values, so do x bracket end underscore x like that. And then x bracket end underscore y. And then we just need to do a little bit of customization to these lines. So we'll just do line width, so LW equals 5. Add transparent equals true, like that. And then I like to do this thing called comment. So say comment equals true, and then do AX equals AX, and then color equals G, like that. So that'll make it green. And then go ahead and just copy this because we're basically going to do the exact same thing. So copy it, and then come down here and just say else. So we're doing our if, and then we're doing our else block. And then just paste that back in and just switch the color from green to red, like that. So let's go ahead and plot this and see what it actually looks like. Okay, so those are all the passes. The green ones were the successful ones, and the red ones were the unsuccessful ones. And as you can see, these are all passes that are starting in an area that is not the final third and ending up in an area that is the final third. Some of them are pretty short, like this one right here is barely making it in, so we could do some cleaning up where it has to be like, oh, the difference has to be, at least 10 data points or 10x values, right? So that could add that. But as we can see, his long passes, he was a little poor at, but his shorter passes into the final third, he did pretty well, except for there was this one right here that was a good pass. So with all data visualization, if we were to just leave it like this, it'd be very hard for anybody to really know what we were plotting. So let's go ahead and let's add just a simple title and then as well a legend that we can have that explains what the colors mean. So if we say ax.set_title like that, and then we'll just say Enzo Fernandez final third entries. And then if we do \n like that, that'll create a new line. And then do World Cup 2022 final. Okay. And then we'll say font size equals 12. And then font family equals monospace. So it'll have kind of a monospace font. So if we run that, we now get Enzo Fernandez final third entries. And then because we put that \n, we get a new line, World Cup 2022 final. So to add a legend, we just need to basically do a little bit more work. We'll say from matplotlib.lines, import line 2D like that. And then we're just going to create some legend elements. We'll just say legend_elements equals, and then it's just a list of these 2D lines basically. So we'll say line 2D and then do 0 bracket and then bracket 0 like that. Then do color equals G. So we're basically just making the legend for our different colors. And then do line width equals 4. And then do label equals complete pass. And then close that off with a parenthesis, and then we'll do another one. So you can just copy this if you want. So just go ahead and copy it. It'll be a little bit easier. Paste it, and then just change this from color to R, and then change it to incomplete pass. And then just close off that list. So to plot this actual legend, we just need to say ax.legend, and then handles equals our legend elements that we just created. And then we just need to give it the location. So we'll say loc equals lower left like that. So it'll plot the legend in the lower left section of the graph. And run that, and there we go. We now have our legend down here, which tells us green, complete pass, red, incomplete pass. So the reason we use this line 2D and these legend elements is it just gives us a little bit more customization to create a little bit of a better looking legend than the default one that comes with Matplotlib. So that is all there is to creating a valuable pass map. We could change up exactly what we're wanting to plot. Say we wanted to plot all of his passes, then we would just remove this, this section where we filtered it down just to the entered final third. We could see progressive passes. Say we wanted to only plot progressive passes or long passes, right? Passes that went from, his half to another half. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with this. So that is kind of my challenge to you for this section, is kind of try to come up with your own way of visualizing and filtering for different valuable insights with a pass map, because they are very simple at their core, but they're super powerful. One of my favorite graphs to create. So that is it for this section, and I will see you in the next one.